This is Weird Renegade Witches blog. Hit us up when you want some real motherfucking work done. Of course, go to the Wayward Renegade website. Click onto the link of Blog Talk Radio, of nostalgic shows of Blog Talk Radio. But of course, go to weirdrenegadewitchesblog.com. It will take you there directly. However, of course, lessons will start again maybe in a week or so. That's the 101 monthly lessons, which is separate from the 101 lessons that I do with individuals, which is separate work, separate frequencies. So understand what that is. So I do the monthly lessons, and then I do 101 lessons with individuals in reference to their life and their frequencies and their spirituality and different situations, of course, that go on in their life, which work is separate, but then it can be incorporated. Okay? Because art is occultism, but art imitates life. I've been sitting back watching a whole bunch of frequencies going on, and I'm just been like, because I'm realizing this is not a black problem. This is a nationalist problem. This is an American problem. We have some issues going on here. So do we do we talk about black people, or do we talk about an American issue? Let's kind of go down the rabbit hole of Alice in Wonderland. Let's dress up like Zendaya, like the Mad Hatter, as she, dressed in Fashion Week, right? Yesterday, my sons forced me to go see the Joker. And I usually like the Joker because he's a villain. He's a villain that fucks with people who fuck with him. Meaning, you cross him, he crosses you. Okay? This Joker had Lady Gaga in it. So that's why I most definitely wanted to see the frequencies, right? That movie was horrible. I said, what type of spell work are they reprogramming us with? I sat there, what is it, for 2 hours and 18 minutes? 15? Taurus, Capricorn. Taurus sitting up there looking at it, analyzing it. Capricorn too busy over here laughing like, what the hell is this? I'm like, I'm ready to go. They didn't say this shit was a musical. Let's talk about the Joker for a motherfucking moment. Since you guys are distracted with Puff Daddy, Sean Combs, P. Diddy, whatever you want to call him, Diddy, you guys are distracted. They created him as a Scorpio energy, because the asylum behavior. I've dealt with this in my honorary thesis research. Where I call it spirit asylum. Spirit asylum is a different type of energy, especially dealing with Scorpios. Now I'm talking horoscope, not astrology and not zodiac. And some of you misfits out there who don't know any better, when they know any better, will say, it's all the same. No, it's not. How do you deal with a person who has a civilization in their head? And then can explain it and manifesto it out. I didn't say manifest, I said manifesto it out to you to make it appear as real. And sit there, have a smooth conversation with you as if it's real. Some of you guys will say, oh, well, many horoscopes can do that, but not like a Scorpio can and will. So I understand why they labeled the Joker as a Scorpio. Let's talk about some energies here. They should have told me it was a musical, but within the musical, you had to listen to the words to the music. These motherfuckers are talking about the fallen Hollywood and how they are restructuring Hollywood. That Hollywood is no more. It is zero. It is zilch. It is zilch. It is a zero with a line across. We might as well stop talking Hollywood because there's no such thing. This movie put a cork in it. Let's talk about some of the programming that was going on with this movie. The Joker, they confused us because from the last movie, it didn't coincide with this new movie. But that's because this new movie is just about psychological programming and unprogramming, and to introduce us to a new world of art, new world of psychology, new world of programming, new world of smart TV and smart movies. The Joker is Puff Daddy, Kamala Harris, in such an interesting way. Hollywood is dead. Asylum. They're telling us Joker was never real. It was just a fantasy. It was just a trauma-based experience. Lady Gaga was the prescription to change the scope of who Joker is so we can see the real, that it was never Joker who did the murders, who never did the mayhem, who never was a misfit. It was the human being all along. Do you understand? With that type of frequency, that can change the court system to motherfuckers who are crazy, or motherfuckers who have demons and entities and kill and murder and do shit. They're saying there's no such thing. There isn't any insanity, motherfuckers. It's you. That means there's a new breed of motherfuckers in town saying, you not crazy, you're crazy. Hear what I'm saying? You're not crazy, you're crazy. You're only pushing out the trauma that you went through. Because through this movie, they created a trauma-filled Joker from sexual assault, abuse, and so on. And that's why he's who he is. So when Joker went out trying to create revenge, redemption, and responsibility, he's just pushing out the energy that he went through as through his childhood. It's a fantasy, right? The gay scene and so on. So we can say Joker is a social experiment, a cognitive experiment, a quantitative experience. It is a casework study. What else? It's case studying, social experiment, mounting, and psychoanalyzation. What I learned from that is there is a used to be a motherfucker acting just like that up in the asylum and psych ward. They are restructuring what is Hollywood and what we understand. What they're saying to you is, we don't want any more jokers here. You people who are villains and think about revenge, redemption, and responsibility, you're just a nut and you're crazy and you're trauma-based. And I thought about that. I said, then I guess I'm a crazy bitch. Because I believe in revenge, redemption, and responsibility. Fuck it, I'm a villain. Art is occultism. Art imitates life. The musical is because we're kindergartners and we need to do sing-alongs to understand what the fuck they're saying. The stairs in the movie, and I'm just what it is. If y'all seen it, you seen it. If you didn't, you didn't. The stairs in the movie, I thought I was tripping. I kept telling my son, I said, is that from The Omen? I said, those stairs look like they're from The Omen. Please correct me. We're finding now in this movie, Harley Quinn is nothing but a psychologist that's doing a case study that's doing too much because motherfuckers didn't peep that this bitch kept showing up behind the scenes. And they used her to, in so many words, to convict the Joker. They're showing that all he needed was love. And if he gets love, then he could become himself. Then when he got out of the fantasy and started to represent himself, that was the kicker. Now I'm jumping around. When he represented himself, bitch, did y'all, if y'all seen it, did y'all peep? He was Kamala. He kept changing his accent and everything. I said, that Kamala, did they mount the Joker? Or the case study of Joker? Are you telling me that a lot of these entertainers out here have soul mounted motherfucking case studies? Not only, as I said, dead bodies, but fucking case studies? You mean these fucking psychologists are out here doing fucking necromancy and giving them psycho drugs and mounting that shit on top of them? And they become? That's a cold game, and that's a cold spell, and that's a cold piece of spell work. They having retreats? All that. Locking you up, having you in darkness, in psychosis, beating your ass, choking you out to steal your fucking life force. Because the Joker changed when they killed another inmate and choked him and took his life force and said he's gone. And when they said he's gone, that's when something triggered in Joker and he became himself. And he went to court admitting, Joker didn't do it, I did. I said, oh, that's what they want us to do. I ain't doing shit. At the end, this younger person, they set him up and stabbed him. People were like, what the fuck? They killed the Joker because they killed an industry. It is done. Out with the old and frail, in with the new. It made me think about that Tariq show. What's it called? Power. How that's ended. They're ending all of these hood shows because they don't want y'all to be villains, and they don't want you to know information what the fuck they really doing. They don't want any more villains, so they're giving you smart entertainment. Lady Gaga, now for me, I get her energy because those are those motherfucking psychologists that sit up and become you. Don't you know most psychologists are fucking serial killers? Didn't you hear about that pedophile motherfucker or that molesting therapist in Louisiana, Baton Rouge? And the influencer had to kill his ass? Y'all don't know about these psychologists? You don't know how they sexually assault you? You don't know how they ask you to do shit? You don't know how they drug you? You don't know how they make you believe something that's unreal but you think is real? But they saying you're crazy? You don't know about them, right? I come from a family of doctors and psychologists. I told y'all I was going to go to school to be a sex therapist. Don't ask any questions. Yes, I was. Until I had to rethink it. The world is nothing but a case study. It's a social experiment. And when it's done, it's dead. We out here trauma-based because the world is shifting and changing. No, this season is done. Now they have to go to a new one to reprogram you again because they're reprogramming you. That's what the Joker meant for me. My son is going to relook at it again because he pointed out to me that younger guy may have been the Joker all along, and the person who played the Joker had took his identity or the energy of it. But isn't that what they've been doing to us? They've been programming us and we steal these identities. The crazy have the audacity to say you can't be a villain, but they can be a villain. Your psychologist, your therapist, your doctors, and so on. But there's something wrong with you, right? They're saying to you, stop living in that fantasy. So that means that they are recreating movies that's fantasy based to make you think not to trust your thoughts. They're creating a new law system. They're creating a new psychology. They're creating a new religion and spirituality. They're creating a new arts. There isn't any art because your art is going to be monitored into programming of what they want you to do. There's no more energies of you doing whatever you want to do. They want to reprogram you because they are redeveloping this world. So they're bringing in these misfits, as they keep calling them, immigrants or migrants. And they're not telling you the percentage that hell of them are coming out of the prison system. Some of them have not even been convicted yet. They were talking about, or CNN News or Fox or one of them, of how different percentages, especially coming into Arizona, how they're rapists, drugs, crime. So you're going to bring in this misfit mentality to cleanse the world. and cause a Babel spirit. See, right now we're in Babel. We're in Babylon and Babel. And understand it's an entity. Babylon is an entity. Which taps back into Joker because they don't want any more villain society. That's why they're tearing down Hollywood and recreating rituals. See, don't think rituals are still not going to be done. No, they're recreating rituals. So when they stab the Joker at the end, that means the rituals are done, everything. Lady Gaga made her point and was like, it's done, and she walked away. They made that movie so convoluted and not make sense to try to make the point that we are reprogramming the world and the old is dead. Once they stab you, that's a different energy because that's a blood sacrifice of frequency. We got to watch these Harley Quinns, right? It was so subliminal that it was an overload, right? Eliminating villains, creating smart TV and smart movies, reprogramming you to not be a villain because you can't advocate for yourself. No anarchy, not moving against the grain, okay? Because you're civilians, right? When I seen that scene of him, the Joker, because I'm calling it the Joker, representing himself in the court, and he went through the phases, I said, God damn. I said, art imitates life. We don't even know what's going on out here, right? He pulled a whole Kamala Harris. I said, that bitch is the Joker. They mounted that shit on her. That's just shit. This election, none of this shit is real. It's fucking Gotham City. I don't know the other city that's there because I was telling my son, I said, Gotham City is San Francisco, and I forgot what the other city is, but that's Oakland. Jaguar Wright. On Piers Morgan. If you niggas don't stop playing with Jaguar Wright, how do you trust something that says like dope? Scarf, like dope. What the fuck was she talking about on there? I said, is Piers Morgan her handler? Who in the fuck? I told you all these people are connected. When I seen the Joker, I seen Jaguar Wright. I don't give a fuck about Jay-Z. I don't give a fuck about Beyonce. I don't give a fuck what it is. If you niggas don't sit up there and turn off Jaguar Wright, and she up there crazy as a motherfucker, allegedly. She's straight on psycho drugs, and you can clearly see she's been reprogrammed again. What kind of games are they playing? She on there talking about Jay-Z and his wife. They've done horrible things. What are you talking about? They're trafficked. Jay-Z's trafficked. Beyonce's trafficked. Diddy is trafficked. They're all fucking trafficked. So are you. The more and more I'm listening to you, I said, this is disgusting. And I don't care who's like, well, no. That's a trafficked woman. Who is she? Where did she come from? What underground? Did she come from the asylum? And they mounted just like Macy Gray appears to be asylum based? Didn't they say they got her from jail? What the fuck is going on here? If you fools don't see out there that they are making this entity they call Diddy take the rap, I don't know what the fuck. He done went from looking Ethiopian, Somalian, Haitian, whatever. I was on that Church of Tubi. They had a Diddy documentary that had the pictures included of the pictures that he showed with his children. I said, well, how, wait a minute, this was taken here. How did it end up here so quickly? But this Diddy energy came out at the same fucking time. What kind of games is going on? Now they out here talking about he sexually assaulted children. He did this, he did that. If y'all don't see, this shit is outlandish at this point. Because I need to understand, why did Kevin Spacey sell his condo over there in Maryland or Baltimore? How did that get dropped, of him sexually assaulting women and children? I need to understand that part. I need to understand why who else? Brad Pitt. Allegedly, identity was stolen and 350 was stolen. No, people been talking about Brad Pitt and the shenanigans. Okay. Why are we not talking about them Kardashians? We're not going to talk about them. We are not going to talk about Ellen DeGeneres. We are not going to talk about this industry been clowning like that. Somebody was just telling me how on Punky Brewster, all of them kids was getting molested on air. That's going back into the 80s. What the fuck do you think was going on Different Strokes? What the fuck do you think was going on with Shirley Temple? What the fuck do you think was going on for years? What the fuck do you think was going on with our gang, the Little Rascals? What the fuck do you think was going on? What the fuck do you think was going on with fucking Leave It to Beaver and fucking Dennis the Menace? What the fuck do you think was really going on with Marilyn Monroe and them? Have you really understood the story of Betty Page? What the fuck was really going on with Harry Belafonte pimping and pandering women? What the fuck was going on with the trafficking of the children, and you had white actors part of the prostitution ring and so on? Why are we listening to all of these old Hollywood rituals? Did we forget? Puffy Chef has said she was forced into having sex with Cassie and Kim Porter. Did we forget? What the fuck does that old choreography dancer have to say? What was her name? Remember her? From making the band and shit? I want to know what she got to say. I don't want to hear shit from Justin Bieber. Because Justin Bieber was up there having a romance with his pastor. They ran that boy through the mud. That nigga shit, they told him to say that. He didn't outright say it. They told him to get down like that. Yeah, he needs to go to church, but he needs to be under the tabernacle and not the industry church, because the industry church keep raping him and sexually assaulting him. He's losing it. I know somebody that dealt with him and drove him back home after a performance. So I know he's a troubled kid. He don't want shit to do with Hollywood. He don't want shit to do with the industry. You think Britney Spears is not trafficked? Hell yeah. We don't even know what's real and what's not with her. Paris Hilton. You see her mama crazy. You got silly black people out here just, oh God, Diddy, Jay-Z, we want him to go down. For what? These are minions. These are people washing money, hiding money. Why don't we go to that Jewish guy having that white party with all those prostitutes there? What the fuck is Kris Kardashian boyfriend doing? You got all these white people. You guys concerned, well, they stepped down. Who gives a fuck? They stepped down a minute ago. You just now finding about it in air. Because on earth, they been gone. Russell Simmons was served, they said, back in March. And I said, whoa. And y'all just now finding about it now? And I said, is that why his niece and his daughter are pimped out? He made an arrangement and a deal? Because they was not allegedly supposed to serve his ass in Bali. They have been going over there, taking planes and shit, taking bukus of children, bringing them back here. That's why I told you I was suspicious of Cat Williams. I said, is he a missionary baby? Because Ohio is a hub. And then someone who told me a 7-day Adventist said he sound like a 7-day Adventist kid. Where you can travel from place to place and people will keep you. You got white people doing missionary shit over here, bringing Asians over here, and then having them online prostitute and be little fluffies. We haven't even understood what the fuck was going on between Mississippi and I think Hammond, Louisiana, with that whole kid prostitution ring and trafficking and sexual assault that went on, right? When the white man killed the child and was trying to take the kids across the border. We haven't even dealt with that yet. I need to understand why they're trying to come out with a fucking Chris Brown documentary. To talk about Rihanna getting her ass kicked allegedly. And I'm looking at it from a standpoint of, them bruises look old. Would you want to keep ruining someone's life to make them a villain? All right, so it sounds like to me that Mr. Puff Daddy is a whole asylum psychopath. These entertainers are psychopaths. You don't know where in the fuck they come from. They come from cults, all type of shit. And we keep entertaining ourselves with this madness because you got someone like Piers Morgan entertaining fucking Jaguar Wright, who's speaking nonsense but says like dope. What type of reprogramming spell work are you niggas on? The world. What type of witchcraft and bewitchery? Somebody forwarded me Jaguar Wright met up with Kiki Wyatt. Jaguar Wright was up there on whatever show talking about Jill Scott. Jill Scott gave her a response. How in the fuck do you end up on a Kiki Wyatt show when you know she's asylum based? Singing Jill Scott's song? A Taurus singing an Aries song? What kind of trumping? What did they promise this woman? Because they working in horoscopes. That's why I told you guys. They're all connected. When I seen Tiffany Haddish all up in Kathy Hilton's face, I said, oh, they are all connected. That Keisha, that white girl that they say that stinking smell, she was a prostitute. And she had the audacity to talk shit about Puff Daddy. But you were a prostitute in the industry. You have no talent. What's her name? Keisha, Kesha, that white girl who supposedly sued that producer dude. And they was recently talking about saying that she smelled. Just like they said Ben Affleck, that Ben Affleck smell. I said, ooh, that's demonic. You think Halle Berry wasn't prostituting? She has prostitute all over her. I'm not going to even say allegedly, but I want to say allegedly. She has it all over her. When I heard Mike Tyson ask Fat Joe, can he have Remy Ma? We already know what Little Kim was doing all through the industry and before. Just go back and look at Teenage Love with Slick Rick. I recently was looking at social media and I seen Tekashi 6ix9ine. Is that nigga in jail? Where is he at? He's speaking in Spanish. Where? I asked before, has he been deported? Because he was not the real snitch. You guys are in your feelings about John Amos. I told you guys back then in 2023 there was something wrong. They waited 45 days, and I was talking to a spiritual constituent, and she said that sounds like an insurance energy. We got fucking Jimmy Carter, dead as a motherfucker, cancer and all. For some reason, they are keeping Jimmy Carter around. So that tells me there's some soul transferring, allegedly, because you know villains are crazy. But it seems like there's some kind of soul transferring. I said, what the fuck are they trying to do with Jimmy Carter? Who are they trying to? Just like Queen Elizabeth. These old motherfuckers. Art imitates life, the skeleton key. And doing soul stealing. Life force stealing. Remember I said it at the top when I was talking about the Joker in the movie, how they choked out the man, one of the inmates, and the prison guard said he's gone, and Joker switched up. So what the fuck are they doing with Jimmy Carter? Who in the fuck are they? What? That man is dead. Allegedly. We can see with our eyes. And I keep waiting like, who are they trying to transfer? They keeping him alive. How in the fuck he dead as a motherfucker and he over here 100 years old, but John Amos dies in his, and he healthy and conscious and cognitive, have his thoughts together, looking good. What? Did y'all forget his daughter, Love and Light, retreats, wearing purple, all that shit, was trying to get her father locked up in a way, And remember when the son allegedly was trying to help his father escape this hospital that went and took custody of him and wouldn't let him out? So did John Amos really die in 2023? And did y'all hear Bernadette? What's her name? I forgot her last name. Bernadette was a stand whatever with Thelma. And her programmed ass. And you know there was something coming out saying she was dead last year. Because somebody sent it to me, the whole article. Allegedly. And she up there looking programmed. And then mentioned Janet Jackson. I said Janet Jackson came in as Penny. He been gone from Good Times. What she was? And they made Janet Jackson separate. Like she wasn't. Because I said, well, damn, why didn't Kim Fields say anything? Kim Fields was also on Good Time and her mama. Matter of fact, why wouldn't, remember Kim Fields' mama was the one who fucking burned Janet Jackson, was her mama? And remember when Gary Coleman and Kim Fields was on there when the bus and something was going on and Florida Evans had the key and they would start dancing and shit? Do y'all remember that? James Evans been gone. What in the insurance policy fucking games is going on here with fucking soul mounting? Allegedly. People just dying left and right. Somebody had the audacity to ask about Morgan Freeman. For what? That's not him. Haven't y'all been seeing this new Morgan Freeman? Just like the new Blondie. Anytime that they take pictures of them and have them going into this particular same building over and over, it's never them. Did y'all know Mae West was biracial? She was black? I didn't. I was looking at Love and Hip Hop. That's my other guilty pleasure, Atlanta. Because I'm interested with Zale. And I'm going to keep it real, my gay constituents wants me to not like Zale because they don't like Zale. And on that show, Zale allegedly has gotten a girl pregnant, where he stuck his penis in her allegedly and got her pregnant. That Saucy Santana was saying a whole lot of shit and they cut him off. He was saying that girl is a loosey-goosey, known, but was something he said about Zale and his style. He said, and I'm paraphrasing, that Zale don't have a job and nobody will hire him. Do you know they cut that part off? Because I was very interested with that. I said, whoa, that's why he's not in the industry. Why are they not hiring Zale, the stylist? That's strange. What's going on? How did he get in the industry? Right? I've been looking at the Fashion Week energy, especially that Owens. That Louis, the fashions are horrible and they didn't went ass backwards back into the 80s. Is it Mark Owens? Back into the 80s. When I seen the fashions of Louis Vuitton, I said they don't know what else to do. They ain't got shit. Okay? That's because the world is being reprogrammed and is boring. And a lot of people want that old feeling back, but it's boring. That's why I choose to be a villain. You gotta be a villain to save your creativity and who you are as a person. Okay? I was looking at Zendaya. I said, well, damn, like I said, she looked like Alice in Wonderland. I was looking at Cardi B. People are saying that Cardi B was at 3 places at the same fucking time. My whole thing is, why is she the epitome of fashion? There's nothing about her features. There's nothing about her frequencies. And they said she has fashion etiquette. They're pointing out little Kim and them don't. Madonna, we don't know what's going on with her, because that don't look like Madonna to me. You know? And the bottom line is that I didn't even know Madonna's house was underneath the Hollywood sign. I said, this fashion week is whack. But they've been really honing in on that Mark Owens. And what is his wife name that's 100 years old? Because I think technically she's African, but she keeps saying she's French. That she don't know her daughter is her daughter, but her daughter is her friend. And she's supposed to be like one of the industry witches. If you are an industry witch and they putting you out there, then you're not the real witch. You're just a prop. You're just a person at the party. So I was analyzing Mark Owens' designs. I said, dang, his fashions are looking like medieval with what, like a touch of let me see here, because I wrote it down. Yeah. His current, Rick Owens, not Mark Owens, Rick Owens. I can tell the atmosphere is Aries, right? But his designs look like medieval alien with clitoris. A medieval alien with a large clitoris. But very Aries. Not goat, Aries. Not Taurus, Aries. Anna Wintour, who is that woman? Who's that woman that they keep saying is Anna Wintour? Who's that? Caroline Vito's spring show with the plus size models. What the fuck game was that? And what was the symbolism of them red shoes, them red heels that they couldn't walk into and they were too big? And the first girl, plus size girl, she was stomping down that catwalk and could not walk in them shoes. I said, what corner did they get this plus size black girl from? What games are they playing? This is a ritual. My spiritual constituents are tired of Law Roach. They said he does not serve a purpose. And I said, but if he's a stylist, shouldn't he be in somebody's showroom? Shouldn't he be doing private viewings? Why is he heading to all these shows to be seen? So it was right. So I was right. It was a ritual all along for him to sit his ass at the table. He then became Zendaya. He does his hair like her and everything. But it's very interesting how my gay constituents can't stand him. And I said, I don't like his styling. And I said, allegedly he's a male Cancer, but he acts very Leo at the same time with a touch of Gemini. Very horoscope. And talking about horoscope, is something about Jaguar Wright's energy. They saying she's a Taurus, but she doesn't act like a Taurus. Her energy says something else. This is not about them charts. This is not about birth charts. This is about the positioning of who is this woman. Tauruses don't act like that. But in Aries will. We just talking what's going on in the universal soul. Did you see where Naomi Campbell was coming out of a store and this black woman asked her for take a picture with her, and Naomi said, no, I have to go to the hospital. I said, Lord. And what's going on with Solange's nephew and Beyonce's son, Julius? When did he become a model and a basketball player at the same fucking time? What the fuck was going on with Ariana Grande and she was stumping down a catwalk like she was a nut? Did you all listen to Lenny Kravitz? And he was talking about he and his mama and them was sleeping in a 1-bedroom apartment. He had the room and they slept on the goddamn floor. Somebody was telling me, a spiritual constituent, that they say they don't even think that's Lenny Kravitz. I said, yeah. I said, he gotten shorter and skinnier, and he was kind of, They told me they think he Prince. I said, now we're going to argue now, because you know I think Jada Pinkett Prince. So y'all getting caught up with church, with industry church, huh? Let me say something to you. How in the fuck can the Antichrist tell you to be scared of the Antichrist? We have this new industry of church that's uprooting itself, where entertainers and motherfuckers have recreated the Antichrist church with it, which is called industry church. Krishan and all them niggas fall under it, including the Clark sisters that lost their cells, including Kiki Wyatt. Have y'all seen Tone? Have you seen his new alter ego? How he done changed up himself? I said, I said, him sucking on that dick done changed the whole spectrum, huh? The real him done came out, huh? So then, as you know, that Project Pat. Did y'all see Kim Burrell, how she done sold her fucking voice? She all up in fucking black and shit, dressing like a whole hoochie mama hoe. And I'm like, what is this? You don't dress like that in fucking church. So they had to calm her ass down and then made her change and lose her fucking voice and shit. And then you have a Yala Van Zant. She fall under the church too. I said, that's a fake bitch right there, allegedly. I said, so, but these are the people underneath your church, right? And then I was looking at Aaron and Latrice Pace. I said, what the heck is going on with these Pace sisters and nieces and stuff? They should be under the tabernacle. Why are they under industry church? We already know what Kirk Franklin is, and you know there's the Church of Tubi that intertwines itself with the industry church. And then as you guys seen that Angie Stone, I'm just kind of hanging on the whim with her, because I don't know if she's a tabernacle or industry church. So what they have done is that they are tapping into civilian business. They are tapping into civilian money. They are the Antichrist. They're up there lying to you about Christianity and what it is, and they don't even know what the fuck it is. See, the tabernacle, even though you may agree or disagree, I call the tabernacle church someone like Juanita Bynum. Okay, because she tells it like it is and what it ain't. And you know, like I told you, a lot of men don't like her and shit because, you know, they say that she's Lucifer. And then I had to look at it again. I said, you know, Leandra Johnson been trying to warn us about that goddamn church. Okay, so I'll fuck with Leandra Johnson. See, she's under the Revival and Tabernacle. Okay. And the bottom line is that as you really start to understand the church and the frequencies, you understand that you guys been ganked all along. All of those characters that they have in the Bible, they switched them around. I went back and I started studying Jesus and Judas. And I said, dang, Jesus and Judas was boyfriend and boyfriend, huh? They were dating each other, huh? That kiss and all that stuff. So you guys didn't see that coming. See, you guys didn't understand that Judas, what's his name, Aristocrat, however you pronounce his name, he did not go against Jesus. He did not cross Jesus. It was never Judas. It was a whole different disciple, bitch. And y'all didn't peep it all these years. I was up there studying the whole Judas effect. I said, oh, they'll tell you he's a Goetia. They'll tell you he's a this. They'll tell you he's a that. How about it was none of that shit? That was his fucking boyfriend all along. And the bottom line is that you have to know what it is. They're up here telling you God and Lucifer, but in reality, you should be up there honoring the Satan and Lucifer. That's above y'all pay grade because y'all too Christian to understand it because you're under the industry church. However, when I started to really understand this shit, I had went back and I've been telling my spiritual constituents about it. I was looking at again at those Indian deities because we've been talking about Buddha and these Indian deities, these Bali and Indian and Indonesia shit that we shouldn't be fucking with, right? But then we went back to Buddha and I said, but wait a minute, Buddha is of a black woman. And I said, do you notice that they're getting rid of Buddhas and then replacing them with these other Eastern energies? And they were like, yeah. I said, so you all better get your Buddha while you can, because the Buddha honors the black woman. Okay, there's a history with that. And then someone else was explaining about the other Buddha that kind of had the little twirls and with the twirls, I call them like little dreads or whatever. And I said, yeah, but we got to be careful of that because that can intertwine into the Indonesian or Bali culture and stuff like that, right? So there's so many dynamics and it's like I said, it's just a house of Babylon, right? So then I started to look at something because I was looking at the statue and I said, what the fuck is this statue with the flute and the feather? And so anyway, the Krishna, right? So then I started analyzing the Krishna. I said, the Krishna is fucking Oshun, the fucking peacock. Everything about the Krishna is a fucking Oshun. I said, what in the world? I said, no wonder them niggas, I knew I was right. They was up there intertwining Indian culture with Orishas. But then the original Orishas is really, I'm going to say Aboriginal, Indians, indigenous, whatever, nationalists, the true people. Right? Because when you look at a lot of the symbols and a lot of the energies, that's just what the fuck it is, because they're full of trickery with us in the first place, because they want us to all believe we came from Africa, but they're not telling us that that's just a concentration camp where they pushed everybody, right? So anyway, when I compared the Krishna with Oshun, I said, hell no. I was telling somebody, I said, I noticed that men don't like the entity and spirit of Oya. They have a real big issue with that Oya energy. I was looking at that dude, what they call him, Little Meech. And it looked like he done became a Babalak. I said, what is this? That energy didn't call him. But then I find out in Hollywood, there's a whole bunch of male babalaos. And some of them be, having sex with them trans. And that's not what you're supposed to do. I'm only speaking right. No hate. It's true. It's part of the culture and religion. So we have to reevaluate those Hindu spirits or gods, as they call them, because they emulate Orishas, the Orishas that they tell you they are, but the real Orishas don't look like that. The real Orishas is a different type of entity and spirit. Some people, like I said, the evil believe that they're all women or whatever. There's so much confusion, right? I told you it's CIA created. And y'all gonna get your asses caught the fuck up in this new industry church because y'all stupid as fuck. Y'all don't even know what spirit is. Y'all gonna be prostituting, selling dope, and washing money up in that church. That's what you will do. Allegedly. Just like the whole beauty industry is nothing but washing of money. That's why they up there want you to open up all these shops, allegedly. I'm just reading what I'm reading on CNN. Don't I'm villain and I'm crazy. You sisters out here don't even know how to do hair anymore. You're doing lace fronts and shit. Do you really need a license for lace front if you don't wash the hair and stuff? And you just gluing it on? Black women gonna be out for the count for real, huh? That's why all these other cultures are coming in doing black women hair. From white girls, Ukrainians, Asians, all. As you guys open up shops to help wash money, huh? Just like the church is going to be washing money. And you're going to have all these people seeking and looking and hungry for the spirit. They're not going to know what spirit is, because they're going to be under the energies of manifesto, aka manifesto, and affirmations and charts. But y'all gonna say, no, but hoodoo has always been in the church. Nah, 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 nah. We talking the gospel. See, that's the gospel. Y'all under industry. Y'all don't know what it is to understand what's Lucifer and Satan and all these darker energies and the devil. Because y'all say the devil is a liar. Is he? The devil will still kill. Are you sure? Because according to this industry, because that industry church is what created Tubi. As I said, the Antichrist is talking about the Antichrist. In August, they had the Burning Man. And it's out in a desert. What is it, Nevada somewhere, wherever? Why are them prostitutes were there? Those love and light prostitutes wearing lingerie. What the fuck is that? That's a boho type of energy. Galactic. It was, what I was seeing was nothing galactic. It was sexual. So they didn't fuck that up. So now the love and light ranch chicks that ended up there, huh? Them love and light ranch chicks been ending up everywhere, especially on Catfish and different parts of television shows. Ugh. Did y'all hear about the Atlanta dungeons? These two gay guys was up there stealing homeless men and putting them in basements and doing things and killing and murdering. And they're saying that's happening a lot in Atlanta. Talking about Atlanta, what y'all gonna do about that explosion? That chemical-based explosion, not only in Atlanta, but also in Ohio. As you guys are distracted and bewitched. Right? So there's been a chemical spill in Ohio, and then there's been another chemical spill or a chemical explosion in Atlanta. As around the world they're having fires and shit. Okay. I want to go back to this Denise Prudhomme. This story. Is this story real about that woman that worked at Wells Fargo in a cubicle on the third floor and stayed dead for 4 days until her body started smelling and nobody noticed her? I'm a little confused about that story. Because I know in the federal government, there's people that end up missing and people don't know where they're at. Then they end up in garages and shit. What does this mean? What type of bewitchery is that? I want to know what niggas and what white folks and what nationalists was up there reporting to SSI that they received extra help with their food and rent and shit, and go report that shit, and then SSI decreased their pay because now what they call rent, utilities, and so on. Now it was called in-kind support. Now they've passed a bill that they are no longer going to decrease people SSI check if people help them with their utilities, rent, and so on. I have a question. Who in the fuck is saying all that? You not villains? What in the bewitchery is going on with that part? I'm just asking. I'm not saying to do it or not to do it. I'm just asking, in human life, when do you report to SSI of you getting extra help? So much so that they're decreasing your SSI. I'm just asking questions. In the UK, the oldest woman, I don't know, or man has been executed in the UK, 97 years old. How come they're not talking about that in the media? Because they were talking about the brother that was it Memphis or whatever, that was executed, even though he was innocent, because that was a sacrifice. The capital punishment and all that stuff they do in the prisons and executions and so on, those are sacrifices. We're going to stop playing. The fishing river, I guess the gaming ward, stop people now in certain states that fish in rivers, right? Did you know, if you are a supposed Native American or indigenous, that you have a tribal ID and you could do things for free? Can somebody tell me what the fuck is the DNA for a damn Indian or indigenous or native? What is the DNA? Because we have to be careful, because they have another energy that's Mongolian that the Mexicans are connected to. I told you about my sons and sat up and snuck and did that DNA shit. Now they complaining because they said they keep tapping in, talking about everybody is their cousin. My son Katie, we talk about, Mom, do you know? I said, I don't know who that is. Talk about what it says, it's my second cousin. I'm like, I don't know who that is. That's what y'all get now. Now you on record as the DNA place is crashing. And they done sold the energies. We don't know what the fuck is going on. Where in the fuck is that going? Where did that DNA go? I told y'all. Did you know there was a thing called Suck Dick on? It's called not Suck Dick, but it's called Sucking Dick Online. And it's called E-Head. And I said, what the fuck is E-Head? And they said what you do is pretend that you sucking dick, but you writing it in the air. It's like saying, ooh, 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 ooh. It's coming, it's shooting. Ooh, ooh, ooh. That. I said, what the fuck? Did y'all see that thing with the young lady that an alien was talking to her through her radio? And it said, hello, America. Hello, ma'am. Can you hear me? Who in the fuck was that? And it didn't appear she was lying. She was tripped the fuck out. I said, Lord, is that second moon? I have a question. Have we been looking at a fake moon all along? Because when you look at the sky, how come that moon in the sky don't coincide with the one that they give you visually with the craters? Those are two different moons. What the fuck is this? And what the fuck is that in the sky? And isn't it very interesting that Joker opened up on what they call the full moon? Or the new moon. But the new moon is really the full moon. But I want to know, what is that moon that they show us that's lit in the sky does not match the fucking moon that they show us with the craters that have things shooting out of it? Have y'all ever tripped on that? Okay, let's talk. The moon in the sky lights up. It's lit. Look like water. Look like land and water. Because we understand the moon is really the sun. Then what the fuck is that they show us with them craters? As you guys out here talking about you doing moon magic on what? You don't even know what the fucking moon is. I started studying Zap. Remember Zap Roger? And I listened to his song Computer Love. He talks astrology and shit in that song. I said, how is it black people didn't realize we were already Afrofuturism? AI ain't got shit on us because we were already doing this. We were already doing that music back then. They need to do a movie on Zap because his whole family fucked up, including his son. African Bombada. Should we revisit African Bombada and his music? And somebody was telling me that the boy who accused him, people who accused him of molesting, recanted everything. What is that? But can we put that on a shelf for a minute and listen to his music? How it sounded metallic, like it should have been on Mercury? Then what the fuck is wrong with us today? We have always been ahead of the game. Herbie Hancock. I was listening to the Mantronics. We tripping. We shouldn't even be listening to this bullshit and this music today. We need to go back in time and listen to that music to get us back straight. I was listening to this lady on social media, on TikTok, and she has something called absent seizures and silent seizures. And she was describing it to the doctor. The doctor didn't even know what the fuck it is. Do you know the doctor told her, and I'm not giving no prescription, I'm telling you what it was quoted, told her to do music therapy for that. Because we already know about frequencies. I said, and the lady was like, I declare, why this woman told me this? I said, whoa, something's to this. With seizures? That's something to investigate, y'all. Investigate seizures and music. It made me go back, when I thought about it, it made me go back to Dr. York. Even though I don't like the frequencies of Dr. York, but God damn it, was he on to something? Or was the government using him to be on to something? And I said, damn, if he just molded it better instead of molesting and harming motherfuckers on his community, that is Afrofuturism. That is galactic. That is AI. Okay? That's why I'm very disappointed with black people. They have created subcultures, but their subculture have become the culture. I was just talking about this with the spiritual constituents. I said they're trying to reprogram us and make us believe that we don't have a culture. We have a widespread of culture. We just have to understand that. We don't have one culture, we have many cultures. But the world is reprogramming us and our kids to make us believe we don't have a culture and our culture was given to us, which is inaccurate. We have created subcultures, and now those subcultures have become a culture. It's like I was talking to someone about New Jack City, and I was telling them, I said, remember the light-skinned woman that was dating Nino? I said, do you know she affected me because she's a good girl, but she's a good girl who ended up with a bad boy because she has certain traumas in her life? And then at towards the end, when he pushed her down or whatever and threw the alcohol on her and said, you're canceled. That is what good girls better fucking understand. That's the realities of messing around with that subculture of dudes that now the Church of Tubi has created, especially them niggas from Detroit, off the fucking hinges. Detroit and Atlanta is off the hinges. I could fuck with Houston's Tubi, but Detroit, all that dick sucking and all that shit going on. And it's like the way how they've created the black woman is just a hoe, just a hoe, just a hoe. But they're not saying within that lifestyle, that's the lifestyle. There's a whole dynamic, and I have to get into that type of spell work later. But this is the energy that we have adopted and adapted, and we have created Afrofuturism. And Afrofuturism is more than just technology. We should be walking into the future. Not smart cities, not smart TV, not smart thinking, not smart television, Not smart, not all that smart shit in 15-minute cities. We should be villains and be very and advocate for our future, which is Afro. And for me, Afro is not African. It's a culture. Afro Satanism, Afro this, Afro that, Afro this, Afro that. Y'all should go look up the TikTok bill 686 TikTok bill is very interesting, where the government can access your data. Mayor Adams, huh? He done got his ass caught up. How about that Contrail and London Breed and all of that? I'm listening to all that shit. I'm like, we all know what that is. That's dealing with them damn immigrants and the underground Ukrainian shit and Russia. Money washing. Children, women. Them homeless shelters. Payoffs. Prostitution. That's what all that shit is. He was just, they're done with niggas. They used you to do their villain work, and now they want you out. They're restructuring and reprogramming the world. That's why we seeing Snoop Dogg on fucking Voice on T-Mobile and doing things, because they're restructuring. When I seen all that, I said, why does he look like a meth head? And then if you go back to the old Martin, who is this Snoop Dogg compared to that one? I had people looking. I said, when you go back to the old Martin and look at the old Snoop Dogg, you're like, well, who's this? But he is a Libra. That's why he had to use his daughter to step on her. You know, there's a lot of people who keep talking about that Snoop Dogg, but I didn't went to the left and right and having a cancer moment. Why are we even talking about Mayor Adams? He been knowing about this, and he been indicted. They all been indicted. Just like that whole story, everybody stepping down because of P. Diddy. Them niggas been stepped down 2 years ago. We know why Mayor Adams is in trouble. The shit that I was hearing up in them damn shelters. And that fake maid service and all that shit. Come on now. I remember a spiritual constituent was telling me in Chicago how them women were out there prostituting out of those shelters. In the cuts, in the alleyways, especially them Colombian women. They keep talking about Venezuelan. Can we talk about Colombian women out there prostituting? And it's not allegedly, it's the fucking truth, but we gonna say allegedly for giggles and laughs. Because the United States is playing with us, right? They were talking about in Arizona, I had talked about it earlier, how the criminals were let out of prison. And Kamala Harris had full knowledge of it, because she's the czar. Just like that guy in New York, that Indian, who was the whoop wop czar, but he was too busy during the whoop wop having sex parties, drug parties, and so on, going underground, having rave parties and fucking and sucking. You know, the villains, as they tell you not to be the villains. And then they said he was the one who pushed the whole vaccinations and so on, as he was fucking and sucking and doing what he was doing underground, he and his wife. That's why my son was telling me in San Francisco, that's how they was making their money. Underground, right? Allegedly 13,099 convicted homicides. People who had convicted homicides came into America. 15,811 people who are in jail for sexual assault. but a total of 400, allegedly 25,431 people they were criminals, robbers, and thieves. Some of them have been deported and they got lost and they ended up back in America. Pending homicides, pending sexual assaults. How many people they're alleging? 222,141. This is coming again from Fox News. And ICE, they call it non-detained immigrants. Look it up. The Carolinas. Let me tell you something about what's going on. Some of you niggas out here talking about it's a sundown town. It's a sundown town. It's a sundown town. We all live in sundown towns. I think you guys need to peep. That was a whole nother Katrina, and the Katrina energy was just a test dummy. Because you know how I'm already feeling about that Superdome. And some of you niggas out there playing games and shit, having that Frankie Beverly energy going on, celebrating his frequency. And I seen in Chicago they were doing it, but over there in Louisiana, one of my spiritual constituents was saying that she was invited to. When I told her, I said, well, you do what you do with Frankie Beverly. I said, but at least honor the ancestors before you go party, and you make sure you go give to them first, then you go and do whatever honoring you're going to do with Frankie Beverly, because Frankie Beverly pulled a lot of energy and a lot of ancestral frequencies from Louisiana, and you're not supposed to be partying and shit honoring someone else who pulled that energy. You have to first honor your ancestors before you do anything. And I thought people knew that and understand that. You just don't go honor people who don't deserve to be honored before honoring your own first. And that's what I explained to her, right? So anyway, in the Carolinas, I said, oh no, they just trying to get rid of the Geechee people and all that stuff. It's not about what you think it is about it being a sundown town. They want to wipe out those people to bring in something new and to bring in these smart energies. There is something else they're trying to bring in, and they use water to do it, because I seen it live and I heard what the guy was saying. And the guy said, hey, we didn't even know it's going to be a hurricane. We didn't get any signs. We didn't get any notifications. We didn't get any of this. We woke up and there's 10 feet of water. The city or the town is under 10 feet of water. You can see containers. You can see caskets rolling. You see all this shit. It was like, what the fuck? And the guy said there was no warning. He said, I just woke up, and he was on his balcony. He was just like, oh my gosh. And some other people were there. I guess he saved. It was crazy. I said, damn, they didn't know. See, that's the part they're not saying to you. Just like they were saying that they don't want people to know that they told the helicopters not to pick up people, allegedly, because they didn't want the media. I mean, they didn't want the people to know that people were allegedly in trees dead, people in their homes dead. And they're being allegedly told not to pick them up, or they'll go to jail. The people who are in like helicopters and so on. This is allegedly, right? And they said they just want to bulldoze that whole town and the towns that were affected by this energy here, by this supposed flood. And I'm like, well, where did the waters come from? But I'm telling you, when you listen to it live and you see what happened, and the person was explaining and said, we had no clue, we didn't know, they didn't warn us. Usually they'll let us know ahead of time to evacuate. I'm like, what the fuck? You see people in their homes and flat land in like up to neck with water, dirty water. As we're distracted with Diddy, this is what the fuck is going on. This is what they're talking about. See, they made you think that these people in the Carolinas knew that was coming, and then making it cute talking about sundown town. Then people didn't know that shit was coming. California has hella sundown towns. And what? Nah. I said, damn, that's fucked up. I said, this is another Katrina? Let's talk about that port strike. That spell work, right? Huh. They're making y'all think it has something to do, of course, with their money being affected, with them going automated or whatever AI. But they said some of it also is humanities, human trafficking, as they said, but humanities, because they said some of the longshoremen are sick and tired of having to hear something, allegedly people in containers, dead people in containers, smells coming out of containers, things being trafficked, things being brought over in containers that's affecting their well-being. Okay? Which include the merchant seamen, as the energies that they see in all these boats and ships. I had a spiritual constituents remind me of Shaky. I guess he's from Louisiana. Remember Shaky? I guess he had a YouTube. Remember when Shaky was talking about, and they had to remind me, and they were saying that T.I. and Tiny was behind him going to jail and back to jail for something he already did. And I didn't even know they were supposed to have a reality show. And they were saying that Shaky told the truth. And was talking about the background of T.I. and Tiny. How come we didn't revisit that when we heard about that 71 mil? And had evidence of their energies? Because technically T.I. and Tiny should be right up there with Diddy. They should be talked about too. See, Jaguar Wright and I talk about them, right? How come she not talking about the real motherfuckers? Because them motherfuckers she's talking about right now don't even exist. She barely exists. Because remember, she said like dope. Because we already know she have people feeding her information. Maybe we should go back. I don't know if they took Shaky down, but we should go back and review Shaky. He was on YouTube, and he was talking about him going to jail doing time, and he was saying that it was basically T.I. and Tiny trying to snitch him out, and he was telling on them. Maybe we should go back and reinvestigate that. Just like we should go back and reinvestigate Keisha Cole being a Libra and Frankie being a Cancer, and how many Libras, not currently, but Libras in the industry are trying to become Cancers. You know, the Louisiana business, they was up there telling on Toya, with Lil Wayne's baby mama, saying that her mother on them drugs real bad and be down at them wards in them crack houses and shit, allegedly. I want to go back to Mayor Adams for a minute. I'm also going to say his situation, remember I keep talking about this, it reminds me of Shrimp Boy in San Francisco. Go look at Shrimp Boy and go look at all the politicians that went down behind Shrimp Boy. Okay? Even how I told y'all how London Bree got caught the fuck up when she was having sex with Muhammad for $5,000 for a damn vehicle and shit, or for some kind of money to fix her car. Have y'all been seeing them damn crown ceremonies online that look like the Grim Reaper? And apparently they're connecting it back to the Bible. I seen it in the UK during the Gilded period. Let me see something here. Here's something very interesting. This is in reference to the Carolinas. Somebody forwarded over to me. Exactly 66 years ago, another hurricane, Helena, rocked the Carolinas. Y'all should look that up. When I was talking about spirituality and I was talking about the Joker, love and light, this holistic psychology, see, this is what they want. Someone needs to hear this. You don't need to forgive to heal to heal. Some things are not forgivable. Let me tell you something. This is not villain work. This, when I see holistic, it's something else behind it, and there's some kind of retreat with it. That means they want to psychoanalyze you and reprogram you. Fuck that shit. Be a villain. And yeah, you could be a church villain. So then here it says releasing trauma stored in the body. Dr. Tara Swart. Let me tell you something. These are the people who are Harley Quinns. These are the people psychoanalyzing individuals in the asylum. These are people that understand that trauma can create a form of psychotic behavior. Okay, so we have to be careful. That's why in this world, they use trauma to basically shock you, right? After that Joker movie, I call it an honorary analyzation. And I stood there watching people. So basically what I did was I wanted to look at people's expression. After the Joker, do you know people didn't get up? They were shocked and in shockment. They were disappointed. They were appalled. They were scared in fear because all they thought about, this is an end of an era. I think it hit people. People did not leave the theater, and they did not leave their seats for almost 5 minutes, and I'm watching their face. They were very saddened and very disappointed. That's called programming. That's what this is. Releasing trauma stored in the body. This is what this is. You know, sometimes we don't need to release trauma. Because sometimes we need to overthink. Because when you're releasing the trauma, where in the fuck is it going? It's going to someone else. It's going to the universe. Is that why we so trauma? Because you niggas out here releasing trauma, being grounded? I don't want trauma anymore. I wanted to go out into the universe. Well, bitch, is it hitting me? Because if you're releasing trauma, it has to go somewhere. So keep that shit to yourself until you're ready to confine it and understand what the fuck it is. Don't be releasing this. What the fuck? Because that's what they was trying to say about the Joker. He has so much trauma stored up in him, he released it out into the world. And then told him he was wrong to be a villain. But if you've been traumatized, you have every right to be a villain. But if you're telling someone stop being a villain, then they act out in trauma. You don't need to forgive to heal. Okay, then what do you need to do? Because people, when these holistic people and these psychologists say this shit, they don't give you a prescription, meaning the cure. What they do is put you under work, they put you under mind control, they put you under programming and make you believe that you've seen an illusion. They hide it. They use different demonic words and Greek philosophies to bury certain frequencies in you. And this is why it's what I call spiritual psychology. Because they be out here playing with you. And hell no, don't hold me in high regards. Because I'm not one of those occultists. Because I keep it real and keep it right. Anyway, that's what you had with your P. Diddy. He acted out his trauma. All of them. They act out their trauma. Isn't that what y'all wanted? That's what make them good actors, right? That's why you guys are so involved in this Diddy. That's why you involved with these people, Jaguar Wright and all these people, because they're pushing their trauma out on you and you believe it because you're still traumatized. They're spilling it out on you. I know what that is. I've done it and I've had it been and I've had it done. Some of you guys out here are rejected. And as time goes on, you guys going to have more anxiety, more depression, more rejection, more loneliness. Do you understand there's insurance now to cover your mental health because there's so many millennials, now Gen Zs, who are so depressed? But then you have psychologists sexually assaulting you, saying inappropriate shit to you, and really not getting down to the root. They want to censor doctors. They want to censor everything. On YouTube, at one time, you had a whole section that talked about herbs. Now you can't even talk about that. You can't talk about the sun. You can't talk about the healing. You can't talk about none of that. Because it is considered medical advice. Anyway, this is Weird Renegade Witches Blog. Hit us up when you want some real motherfucking work done.